of the news from our perspective.
Hi, and welcome to F the News, the social current affairs podcast, looking into all things female and empowering women everywhere. I am really looking forward to our wonderful guests that are joining us today. But as always, let's have a look and give you some of the headlines that are happening in the world today. Staggering loose women wealth gap, from 77 million fortune to star paid an allowance by her daughter as panelists face axe. From a burning mouth to electric shock sensations, the strange menopause symptoms most women are unaware of. And who is Charlotte May Lee? The Brit air hostess is jailed in Sri Lanka over drug smuggling accusations. And a Geordie Shore star reveals she's finally had sex again after being celibate for nearly 3 years. And a woman hauled to court and faced jail over rude bumper sticker on her car, even though everyone thinks it's funny. I was left with saggy boobs after my kid got a Lithuanian lift. I hope I've said that right. For a 6.2k, and now I have my 24-year-old breast back. A personal accountant of a mother's decision to undergo cosmetic surgery abroad, reflecting on body image and self-confidence post-pregnancy. And Metro sponsors Women's Football Awards 2025. And the Commons falls silent as MP reads out a list of women killed in the last year. Sadiq Khan says menopause leave scheme stops women suffering in silence. And lastly, a sexist church marks International Women's Day by voting against a female vicar. Well, I think there's some very controversial news there. So thank you for listening to that. We do like to bring you some of the headlines. Now, today I am thrilled to introduce a truly soulful force in the UK music scene. Our guest today is a singer, songwriter, artist and creative producer who's been making waves in the underground UK R&B and soul world. With her silky smooth vocals that echo the golden era of the 90s and a vibrant modern twist, she's capturing hearts both at home and increasingly across the globe. Born and raised in East London, her sound is a rich tapestry, blending reggae, Afrobeats, gospel, Motown, hip-hop, jazz and more. Her roots are deep, her voice is unmistakable, and her message just pure positivity, warmth and love. From her debut EP, Fallen For You, which gained recognition from BBC One Extra, Capital Extra, and even the legendary Trevor Nelson, to her recent genre-bending AI-powered single, Vertigo, which was placed in an international song contest. She continues to push creative boundaries while staying authentically herself. Get comfortable, because in this episode, we are going to be diving into Kemi's musical journey, her creative process, what's going on for her, and what it really means to share good energy through song. Please welcome the incredible, soulful Kemi Sulola. Woo! Kemi! Hello! We do love to give a good intro. Relax, you know, get comfortable.
Cozy, I love this.
Thank you. We like to make it cozy for our guests. How are you today?
Well, I'm good.
I mean, we love to kind of dive deep, don't we, when we
Yes,
first take a look. And there's so much to you. Yeah, let's get comfy. This is the best. So much to you. So I'm really excited to learn all about you, and hear what's happening for you, because I'm sure there's lots going on. But let's go back to when you were young. So you grew up in East London, that's correct? Surrounded by such a rich mix of music, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And what artists or songs back then had the biggest impact for you?
Yeah, there was so many. So in my household, I had my parents and my 3 older brothers.
Yeah.
And my parents are very much, they came like around the Windrush time, although they're from Nigeria, but a lot of their friends are from the Caribbean. So reggae, lovers rock, that was busting up in the house all the time. We got a big vinyl collection at home. which is amazing. So that was a main sound in the household.
Yeah.
And then my brothers, they loved a lot of like hip hop and R&B, so they introduced me to a lot of that. And I think for me, being a young girl during that time, I loved like females. So it was like Destiny's Child,
Yeah.
it was Spice Girls.
Woo!
Like they were my people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
all sorts of
We all love
sounds.
the Spice
Yeah,
Girls,
yeah.
didn't we? And Destiny Child. We all wanted
Yes.
to be in one of those kind of groups, didn't
Literally.
we? And so that had obviously a big influence on you. So when
Yeah.
did you kind of then learn about this amazing talent and you know craft that you have? When
I
did you
think
learn
it
about that?
started from songwriting actually.
Okay.
My mum used to write a diary, and then I copied her and wrote my own diary. But that
Really?
diary started to evolve into song entries, and then I started to
Okay.
write songs.
Okay.
So I think that was the first thing. And then yeah, just being around music, growing up around in church, and just being in that culture.
Yes.
I just started to sing. I went
Yeah.
to like a performing arts school in Edmonton, I believe it was.
Okay.
And yeah, just slowly it just started to evolve.
Yeah.
I remember a few friends after we recorded the song.
Yeah.
And it was so funny back then. I think we thought we made it because it was like one of my friends' dads. He was like, "Okay, we've got this demo. We've got to put together. We're gonna send it to
Really?
a label."
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't know
Exciting
what that
times.
recording is. But I just remember
It's
that.
hidden in the
Yeah,
archives
literally.
somewhere. Yeah.
But that was like again, those were the steps that just put
Okay.
me into.
So was you
music.
ever like in a group like with your friends? Or
Yeah,
was
so
you...
we were kind of like an
Yeah.
unofficial girl group then. There's three of us.
Great.
And that was really cool. But yeah, that was like the early days of how it kind of all came
So
together.
from back then, do you think you kind of found your niche of who you were, or have you just evolved over
I
time?
definitely evolved over
Yeah.
time, and that's something as a woman that you will always still be searching
Yes.
for. But having said that, I feel like it was always in music, so there was
Okay.
kind of a guidance. I never was like, oh, I don't know what I want to do when I'm older. It was never like that.
You were
Kind
drawn
of
to the
knew that I
music.
was always drawn to something like
That's
that.
so beautiful. And you mentioned like reggae, and I know I spoke in the intro about like Afro beats from your parents and the hip hop and R&B from your brothers. So do you think that you took a lot of that kind of influence and that's what you brought to your artistry?
Yeah, I feel so, and even still, that's there's still so much more for me to release. But from what I've released so far, I think you can hear those influences in there.
Absolutely. I've had a listen to some of your music before today, and 90s music for me is my favorite. I think everyone needs to appreciate and value, like there's so many different genres, but that 90s era, it was just incredible, wasn't it? And I'm a big fan of the 90s era, so I loved your stuff.
Thank you.
Do you feel also like East London roots? Do they still influence your sound maybe in your perspective as an artist today?
Yeah, definitely.
How
Like,
important is it being?
yeah, I actually love being from East London. Like,
Yeah.
it's only when you go out, and I love going out as well, but when you come back, you realize the multiculturalism and the diversity that's there.
Yes.
And I think that's such a blessing to grow up around, especially when you go to places and you might experience ignorance.
Yes.
It's like, how do you live in a bubble when there's like so many people, there's so many cultures that you can engage with and grow up with? So I've always been blessed to just have that around me and just see. So it's allowed my outlook on the world and on people to be really open and embracing, which is fun.
It's so important. I know a lot of people in East London, and I do feel like East London has, and there's a lot of creativity that comes out of East London.
Yeah, Newham particularly, we've got.
All right, Newham. She's like
representing,
Newham in there.
Yeah.
And so I wanna get to know like Kemi and how you know when you create a track. So let's help some of the younger or anybody out there actually that's really inspired by music, don't know where to start. So when you create a new track, do you start with melody, lyric, feeling? Like what kind of would be Kemi's kind of process a little bit in that?
For me, there's no real rule, like all of them basically. So it depends on what the song is. So sometimes it might be like I'm just on the train and randomly a melody will come to my head and I've got my phone literally on speed dial, voice notes, first app on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm just recording. I'm like this, like pretending I'm talking to someone, but I'm like humming melodies. And when I listen to it at home, you can just hear the train and the background. But I just need to hear that one melody. And then when I go back to it, I can like develop that. I can put words to it. I can put meaning to it. So that's probably the best way that I love to write because I feel like that's the most genuine and most free way that I want to create because it just comes randomly.
Of course.
Obviously, there might be other ways where someone sends me a beat and that's called top lining. And that's like the official music term.
Okay.
And that might be like a producer sends me a track and then it's already made. They want me to write on top of that.
Okay.
So there's that way. And then there's sometimes you just get lyrics and words and then you're putting a melody to it.
Yeah.
So it all depends on the context and who's around and and how I'm feeling, but I'm trying to not go off how I'm feeling too much as well. I'm trying to like be more intentional to allow the songs to come. So
absolutely, I love to hear that. And how do you kind of stay inspired? And then I mean, the creative world. We had a few creative guests on here, but you know, there is that creative burnout, isn't there, as well? So like, you know, how do you kind of stay motivated and driven in that?
That's a lot. I feel like I've been learning a lot. I think part of it is you need to let life be life, and you need to live life as well.
Right.
So another area which I hope I'll get to speak about alongside my artistry is some community work that I've started to do.
Nice.
And I think sometimes you have to dip in and out of that bag. So you can't always be in both. You can't always be an artist. Sometimes your artist needs to live and breathe a little bit, or just to rest a little bit, so you can experience life, and then you can come back to it and bring a new outlook. So I think that's what I try to do. Sorry, back to the question, if I'm answering it properly.
No, that's absolutely no.
And yeah,
it's like how you stay, because I mean, us as creatives, we get in a creative world, don't we? But like what you're saying, tapping in sometimes into that other real world, doing community stuff, giving back in different ways, keeps you, I suppose, open-minded and keeps those creative juices flowing.
And just experiencing life and different stories of other people, because for me as a songwriter, it's not just about writing songs for stories that I go through. I also love like telling the stories of others, and I feel like that's what a songwriter should really do as well. It's kind of like a script writer. Like you might write a film. The film doesn't have to be something that you've gone through.
That's right.
You can make up a film. You can make up the story, but you're still directing it, and that's kind of like songs to me. They're like mini films, basically.
So you've got the whole kind of like, you know, start to finish story. So you touched upon some community work. Can we what are you doing with that? Tell us a little bit about that.
So I've always kind of alongside my singing, I've taught in schools and done one-to-one sessions and like freelance like that. And then about 3 years ago, I opened up my own studio space.
Congratulations. Really love to hear
Sulola
that.
Music Studio, by the way.
Say that again.
Sulola Music Studio.
Sulola Music Studio. At that, great. So tell us what did that what kind of gave that idea? What made you birth that kind of idea?
That actually came from a life situation, which is so I'll explain that because I've been quite open about that. So basically I developed a health condition for a while, which I must say up till this past even mid last year has like really come back full force. Like my healing's really come back, so I'm really grateful. That's why it's even such a blessing to be here as well.
Absolutely.
But so I had to build a studio nearby me because there was a time with a condition I couldn't walk, I couldn't do things for myself. I was just literally housebound, and it was a lot.
How long ago was this?
So this is about 7 years ago, and it was for a good 7 years. It's only like coming up to the 8th year now where things have kind of turned around.
And is this health condition, are you able to manage it? Are you through it?
So I'm really managing it now. It's an inflammatory condition. And this is something again that it's probably classed as an invisible condition because you can't, when you look, you couldn't really tell. But although when I was on the medication, you could tell because I was really bloated.
Really?
So steroid medication added a lot. I was a whole different person. So but it's still kind of an invisible condition because you wouldn't really know. And because of that, it really changed my life a lot and meant that I couldn't really pursue music in the capacity that I wanted to do it. And because I remember back in the day, I was driving, I was going to studio here. Like, studio, you'd be there from like 7 to 1 a.m.
You could handle those long hours.
But obviously I couldn't do that. So I had to build something that was accessible and easy for me to get to. So it started for myself. And then with how did it start becoming, I think friends started coming through, and then it was like, because it had like this home safe environment, people were kind of drawn to it. And also being a woman open a studio, imagine still 2025, it's still very rare.
So well done to you. Hello.
Thank you. So I think because of that, people kind of
gravitate towards you. So is give her a clap for that. So the studio, how often are you there, or what are you offering for the community there?
So a few things. So it's also available to rent, so you can hire it for like if you want to record. So it's a recording studio, so you can record your music there. You can do it dry hire, so you just take the space by yourself or with an engineer. So I have a few engineers.
That's brilliant to know. Wow.
But also doing community programs, funded programs. So the first funded program was about a couple of years ago, and there was 12 artists that came, and I was just teaching them different things over the few weeks, what
Nice.
I knew in the industry, and getting
Yeah.
some other friends in from the industry as well to do some masterclasses.
Brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, and
I
that's been
think
really
there's
good.
such power in, you know, and this is why I love being part of what we're creating here. There's such power in supporting other
Yeah,
people,
100%.
elevating them, sharing your knowledge, you know, because there's generations after us that's going to come. So let's share, let's elevate each other, let's support. So it's really lovely that you're doing that. And I'm sure you're going to inspire and change a lot of, you know, the young people, whoever's coming through your studio doors.
Yeah, and I've had like adults and kids because I'm also doing a gift experience there at the moment.
Okay.
With Airbnb, so you can create a bespoke song.
Ah!
So if you want to write a song for your mom or for your lover or your partner, your child,
What?
come through and I
So
can
hold on.
write
So
that.
tell me about this experience. If
Yeah.
I wanted to come,
So
I mean, I don't have the voice, Kemi.
No,
but,
it's not about being a singer. It's
okay.
about, because for me, songs are like history. They're memories. They're moments that
Absolutely.
you can have forever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So imagine, I think it kind of stemmed from a time when I wasn't too well. I had this conversation with my granddad. He's 83 and he's currently in Nigeria. And we had a conversation and he was telling me about getting through life. And till this day, sometimes I listen to that voice note and I get overwhelmed. But I'm so happy that I have that as a safety.
Yeah.
So,
The wise words.
Yeah, the wise words. And I thought, imagine being able to have that in a song with, you know, that you can pass on. So that's how the concept kind of developed.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah,
beautiful.
you can cover your girls. You
Yeah.
can do
Look
Destiny
at
Child
that.
audition.
Wait, all right. I think that's what I need to do.
Cool.
So you're known for putting very authentic messages in your music. Sorry, I'm on this group vibe. Look, I'm already like triggering who's in my group. But messages into your music. How do you balance the vulnerability with creativity sometimes when writing songs?
That's a really great question, and it's actually something that I have struggled with to do.
Yeah.
So again, at the peak of maybe my condition, I was in hospital for a while.
Okay.
And I wrote this project because I was in the third room. So I wrote this project called Room 3.
Okay.
It's kind of basically about everything that I experienced in that time. And I remember during those parts, I was like, yeah, I'm going to release this. I'm going to put it out. I really want to share my story. And then when it kind of came to it, I was like, wow, I'm actually still in this situation. It's a lot.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how I can just be so open about it. And I think these days with social media as well, it's a blessing to share because you connect with so many people, but there is an element of vulnerability where you're like, is this too much?
Yeah, it can be very overwhelming.
And it can be overwhelming, to be real. So I think I'm having, if I'm being real, I'm still kind of understanding that balance, but I still think it's really important because as creatives, that's part of what our duty is, to share those stories, because it's not about me, to be honest. I'm just the vessel for it.
Yeah, of course.
Because there's other people that are going to be relating to that.
Absolutely. And you know, music, I think, is something that gets people through sometimes some of the hardest times of their lives or the best times of their lives. Like I know, like I have playlists or, you know, people that I know, and you can play a song or a track and you go, I remember where I was or who I was with. You know, and it can be a whole memory box. So music is just so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
So you've had some of your previous tracks, I know I mentioned, and you can tell us a little bit about those, but I know you got a lot of love from some really good major radio stations, didn't you? And I mean, Trevor Nelson was a part of it. So how did that feel at that time when all that was happening for you?
I remember, I think during that time, when I connected with Trevor Nelson, when I shared my music with him.
Yeah.
I was doing like some music program and he came into one of the events and it feels like back in the day, but it wasn't so crazy.
Okay.
I had a CD basically because I had a launch.
Do you know what CDs are? But you know, yeah, they were our generation.
I gave him the CD and I remember he listened to it and then I reconnected with him another time. He's like, yeah, he's been playing it in his car, and I was like, hey, I'm using that in my bio for like that.
Yeah.
But no, it was dope to get his support and other radio stations. I said like BBC Extra, they're like always supporting soulful R&B music.
Yeah.
So
it's so important that those kind of platforms do
100%
support,
exist.
Isn't it? And how have things changed? I mean, you've mentioned like the CD, you know. I mean, we could take it way back, cassette tape. Like
I didn't go that far back.
Oh, that's even my time. You know, like how different is it now with music? Like for anybody that's like, oh, I wanna write or I wanna, you know, send my music somewhere. So obviously we're in very different times.
Yeah.
How do you kind of do it?
Yeah, I think there's always pros and cons for everything. Let me do the cons first.
Yeah.
I'd say not cons, but like maybe the harder part of it is it's very overwhelming. And I don't know, it's kind of In fact, yeah, I'll probably just say that that's the main thing,
Yeah.
overwhelming. But let me say the positives. I think the main blessing is because of that, there's so many ways to get your music out there. So the accessibility is actually more open. You can kind of hit up someone on their DM,
Yeah.
not necessarily that they'll reply straight away, but you can do that. Whereas before, it's like you had to go to that spot to meet them to make sure that, you know what I mean? Or, you know, I think people are a lot more open and you can find your tribe online. And then you don't necessarily need to be the most known artist,
No,
the most
that's
famous,
right.
but you can have your community and you can
Yeah.
build with that.
How important is that
Yeah.
though? That's so important,
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
think it really is important, especially these days because you're wearing a lot of hats, and if you're an independent artist, you're doing a lot of things yourself, and it can be maybe a bit overwhelming, and you can feel a bit isolated.
Yeah.
Like I've definitely had those times where I felt isolated, but if you can connect with other people doing similar things and build a community, it's like,
Absolutely.
I like R&B, you like R&B. Oh, let's do this
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
Let's,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? Then
And I think
you can
R&B
build that.
needs to make a bigger comeback.
We do, and
Like,
it is.
come on, Kemi,
Yeah.
let's get these tracks out
Trying to
because
bring the-
I
yeah.
know you are, because I'm definitely fan of that the
Yeah. Oh,
R&B.
thank you.
You've also collaborated with some other creators, so we mentioned like your Vibe Tribe and stuff.
Yeah.
How important is it to collab, do you think, and grow as an artist, like with the right people? Like
I
you
think
mentioned some there, but
yeah, that's really important. Collaboration. Even yesterday, I was in a session because I'm in a project with a platform called Creating Visions, and we're doing a project called The Ultimate Sessions, which is like an R&B project. So it's got like 10 producers, like there's about 15 of us, producers, songwriters, artists, engineers from London and Manchester, and we're just collaborating in a writing camp and creating songs. So yesterday there was a couple of us doing a session at my studio. And it's just great. And I feel like people underestimate the power of collaboration as well. Like it's great when you can write your own song because you can really get in your feelings, but writing with someone else, the flow is better sometimes, the turnout is quicker. And there's some things that someone might say. It could be just one word that they say.
And
that triggers off something that you wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah,
My
true.
foot got randomly dry.
That's why we've got water here.
Like, we need some water.
That's
I
why
have
we've got
this cup.
water. Thank you. So your song also, is it Vertigo?
Vertigo, yeah.
That was created. Is that correct? Like, I mean, fill me in a little bit on this. Created using AI and stuff, or tell us. And it went on to win like top 3 in an international contest. Like, what made you go and explore like AI as well in music? How's this working?
Basically, I had an opportunity. So there was this call out, it's like a commission call out. They were looking for songwriters.
Right.
So it were basically these researchers from York University who work in AI, and they wanted to do a project with some musicians. So they were looking for some songwriters. So I saw the call out and I applied, and they got in contact with me and they were interested. So you basically made this song. But the thing is, when people initially hear AI song, they think that, I don't know, I went to ChatGPT and I was like, write me a song. And then
that's what I'm saying, thinking. That's why you've got an enlightenment.
No, it didn't work that way. Basically, it actually started really organically with me on the piano. So I wrote piano chords, I wrote the song. And then the way the AI was added into it, we basically changed some of the musical instruments using AI tools. So, for example, it could be really simple. Like, for example, we had an instrument that sounded like it was a violin sound. We put it through this AI tool, and it just changed it to be like some sort of, I don't know, warpy, weird sort of sound effect on it. So that's how we used it. So it's more on the technical sides, but and I think that's you know, sometimes the misconceptions with AI. It could definitely have its like points that I'm not for. It's taking over the creativity. But there's ways you can use it just to complement the music, and that's how we use it. And that was the most comfortable way that I was willing to use it.
Well, it kind of enhanced what you were doing, right?
Yeah, but it just offered a new way to create, which is quite fun for me. Because at first, obviously, I think the first thing for AI was it that photography app that came out? I don't remember that. So when it first came out, it was like, oh, like they're trying to take over creators, and I was even like, nah. But then I saw the opportunity. I thought, do you know what? I think it's important as a creative to be with the times, and you know, there's a lot of new technology happening, and a lot of things can be to our benefit.
And I think it's just about us not being ignorant to it, isn't it? It's like, well, let's see how we can use it, how it can help us with things, rather than go, no, we're fearful of that. Do you see technology and AI getting bigger in the role of music and stuff? Where do you think it's kind of going to go?
Yeah, so there are a few debates. So, for example, I'm part of the Ivers Academy, and we're doing some advocacy for AI. What's the word? AI regulations so that it's not contradicting
Okay.
the creative or patronizing the creative.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do believe on that side of it. But as I said, I also do believe the power of the tool of it.
Yeah.
So even in ways to not necessarily directly for your music, it might be like, okay, I need to organize my songs, or I need to have a plan for my creativity.
Yeah.
So ways that you can use it in that to develop your creative practice.
Right.
So I think those are the ways
using
that
it
it's
like that.
important, yeah.
So you're still protecting yourself.
Yeah,
as an
yeah, and you're still
artist.
being creative, and you're still being organic, and you're still
Yes.
being human, but you're just amplifying what you do.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of tools already, like even streaming platforms like Spotify. It has like an AI playlist, so an
Yes.
algorithm that tailors the types of songs that you like.
Oh yeah, it came up. I think like who it wanted to be my DJ.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
exactly,
okay,
yeah.
DJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I get
So
it.
there
It
are-
helps.
Yeah,
It
it's
can
definitely
help.
integrated more and more into music, and
Yeah.
it has its pluses and its
Absolutely. Now, as a woman
Mm.
navigating the UK music industry, particularly in R&B and soul, what has been some of the unique challenges that you've faced, and how maybe have you pushed through them? Because I'm sure you've faced some challenges.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's a really loaded question. There's so much to go.
Sorry.
But no, but it's
Should we
great.
break
'Cause
it down?
that's what we're here for, to talk
Yeah.
about that. I think it has been difficult. I kind of, again, I want to do a rounded view. I'm not just going to be like the bad points, but I like to start there so we can just flip it over. But yeah, I think it can be difficult. I feel like there is still a mentality of competitiveness.
Okay.
Or not even competitive, but also there's only room for this amount of people, this sort of space. So sometimes when you're trying to go into those spaces and you're trying to be open to maybe other people, there's a bit of a holdback because it's like, okay, I'm already here, so you can't. And I have found that difficult to navigate.
Really?
Yeah, I have faced that. But what I've found on the plus side is sometimes I feel like that's changing as we're getting more open and there's more opportunities. Like we've got platforms like this, do you know what I mean? Which are amazing and bringing women on. So I think we're starting to see, actually, that can be someone that I can work with, and that's someone that I can support. It doesn't have to be like me against you.
Absolutely.
And I think with the internet and more, we're realizing that the world is big and there's a lot of space for everything.
There is.
I always use the metaphor of water. Basically, till this day, I'll go to like Sainsbury's or Asda and I'll see like a new water bottle brand. And I'm like, how many more water bottle brands do we need?
So true, actually.
But there's so many.
Yeah, that's true.
And
it's water.
imagine water is free.
Yeah, that's so true.
So if we have space for that, my point is, as human beings, we like variety.
We do.
When you go to the, I don't know, even if you go to Chinatown, there ain't just one Chinese restaurant. There's loads.
Right, yeah.
And they're in one spot.
And everyone has their own preference of things.
That's what I'm saying,
don't
exactly.
they? Yeah.
And if you like one thing, you tend to like a variety of things.
Absolutely.
So if you like R&B, you don't just like Brandy, you like Monica too, you like KSL too. Do you know what I mean? You like a range.
Absolutely.
So I think if you start to realise that I can be part of that range instead of having to be one of that, then you feel comfortable in your space. You can accept others in your space. Yeah. And you can get on more. So I think it's a mindset.
Good mindset, good attitude in the industry.
Yeah. And so as I'm starting to have that mindset more, I'm finding others that are having that mindset and we're connecting, and that's what's feeling good. And I'm finding that there is space for women to grow. Yeah.
And I mean, staying on that, being a woman in the music industry, it can I can only assume, but it can put pressure on women, I think, right? To fit a certain image or a certain sound.
Definitely, yeah.
Has that been difficult to kind of maybe stay true to like your voice and your identity as an artist?
Yeah, I think the main thing we'd probably say with women is the main debate is around being sexualized. That's probably the most
in
thing.
music,
in music,
especially.
Especially having to dress a certain way or sing about a certain thing. And I suppose that's never really just been in my, like, I'm not like that anyway. And I've got also nothing wrong. Some women stand in that in their power and they do their thing, and great for them. But we're not all like that. Some of us are a bit. Do you know what I mean? We just express ourselves in different ways, and I think we just need to accept that variety more. And I think things are changing. But I think it's important for us to just see the variety of women. So we might see the lady with her 6-inch heels, but we might see the one with the flats and the one with the trainers and one with no shoes. Whilst I've felt that, I feel like it's a bit more open now, and so I'm just, even like things with like natural hair, afro hair, or just whether you wear makeup or all of those things, it can be a lot still. But I'm hoping that if we start to those of us that feel different and we stand in our difference, that hopefully that we will attract those that will support it, and then we can be more appreciated more.
Absolutely. yourself underestimated maybe in like any of the creative spaces? So either as a like songwriter, performer, producer, and if you did, how did you reclaim that power?
Yeah. Do you mean like other people perceiving it in that way?
Yeah. So have you ever had any kind of experiences
definitely.
like
I like
that?
even say I go to quite a few networking events sometimes, and even when you're introducing yourself to someone, they can say it and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm a songwriter. And obviously they haven't heard your music yet, but they're just seeing from what you're saying.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can see in people's eyes, they're like, okay, like, and then until they look afterwards and they're like, oh, because I've had that before. Like literally, I was talking to someone and I can kind of tell, like, I was like, they're not really giving me energy, like they really want to talk.
They're underestimating.
Yeah. And then it was only after when I gave them my card and they looked afterwards and they messaged me and they were like, oh my gosh, I like what you're doing, blah blah. But at that first thing, so you do face that sometimes, and that can be a little bit disheartening.
Sure.
But I think I've learned to kind of just, I'm a lot more bolder now and just be like, the people that are gonna get it are gonna get it.
Yeah.
So that's helped me. But yeah, I think that's gonna happen. And then you just have they're just sometimes they're not for you.
And I think, you know, like even some of the incredible people and guests that we've had on our show, there's like a message that comes through. It is about us being bold in some of our things and knowing who we are and, you know, being comfortable with who we are, because there's no one else like you, is there?
Yeah,
so
100%.
do you feel that the UK R&B kind of soul scene, does it give enough visibility and support, you know, from an artist? You feel like that's happening?
Yeah, I feel like there are platforms that are coming up more.
Nice.
From the top of my head now, I'm giving myself pressure to think of names. But there are platforms like radio stations and R&B showcases, even things like my point is always with R&B particularly, we need a culture around it. So it's not just the music events, it's the outside events as well. So you've got things like R&B brunches or R&B karaoke. And these things, or even like TV shows. What was a TV show recently? There was a show, I think it had Ray Black in it on BBC Three. I can't remember the name, but basically we need culture around to grow it. Like with grime, you have like Top Boy, you have
So we need the culture to be attached to it, don't we?
Sorry, say your question again because I feel like
it was just to say, do you do you feel that the UK R&B soul scene is given enough visibility and support? So kind of there is a little bit with some of these things,
but we still do need a bit more mainstream support. And I don't know why there's still this stigma that R&B doesn't sell as much, and it's still in the UK. Like if you go to America or even other parts of the world, it's thriving. There's a big scene for it, and it's bubbling here and it's coming up, but it's still not where it should be.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think that kind of comes from us we need to work a bit more together. Yeah.
And what's been some women maybe that have inspired you, you know, within the music journey or outside your music journey, or maybe being mentors for you?
Yeah, there's been quite a few women that I would. The first group that came to my head, there's a group that I'm actually part of now. They're called the Soul Girl Collective, and they're trying to bring women in the industry, and that's run by Baby, Lauren, and Shanaz.
Shout out
three
to
ladies.
those.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to those.
And they're doing an amazing thing there. We're also going to do some collaborations in my studio as well. So if you join my mailing list, you can get involved with that.
Get involved.
But yeah, so they're doing great stuff. And I always remember back in the day, there was a lady called Shazar. She's actually a Mackenzie. I don't know if you know of the Mackenzie family. You know
Mackenzie, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that whole family. They're like the Jackson 5. They're all so talented.
Yeah.
And I always remember Shazar, she, because I was part of a program, she was a mentor in there. And she's an amazing vocalist, and she's always just like, her energy is amazing, and she's someone that I've always looked up to in music. And then outside of that, there are loads of women. I can't think of the top of my head names, but even with my family, my mum's a great example.
I've inspired and everything. And what advice would you give to some, you know, young women, older women, you know, that are coming up in the music industry right now, and who might also be doubting their place a little bit in the industry? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I really think there's a place for everyone and for everything. And I think what it is sometimes with the music industry, things change all the time. There's not like a set space.
Right.
So where you are at that moment, that's what you're supposed to be in and where you're supposed to contribute. And then as you, I don't know if I'm explaining that properly. Like, for example, like say if you do a performance and it's a low-key performance, but one person sees you and they get inspired, that is where you're supposed to be at one point for that one person.
Absolutely.
And then later on you'll go on, you might do a bigger performance and you meet loads of people, or just be like, the way I'm thinking of it, kind of like my hand.
Yeah.
Say if you're your little finger,
Yeah.
as small as it is, if you get a cut on your little finger, it's gonna hurt the whole hand, right?
Yeah.
But when it's healed, the whole hand feels good.
Yeah.
It's a small part, but it's part of the hand.
Put that.
I hope that makes sense.
No,
So
it does.
my point is, we all have our little spots.
Yes, we do.
In the grand scheme of thing, we're all part of it together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if one part kind of lacks, it affects the whole part.
It does.
So that means no matter how small your part is, it's significant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So
I love
so
how
do
you
your
put
part.
that. Do your part. Yeah. And embrace that when you're doing it. I love that. And you've said that your mission is to bring good energy and vibrations for your music. I mean, you have real good energy and vibration anyway, just sitting with you, which is beautiful. But what does that really look like for you, like in your music? How does that kind of in practice?
I think it means obviously the messages where they are encouraging and motivational, but I think we're human as well, so we go through stuff. So it's not always just about a smiley face. It's realness as well. So I think it's about tapping into that realness, and sometimes you might need to be a bit down. You might need to get in your feelings, and I think that's kind of what I want to bring through my music, just that feeling, but also then just sharing our stories. And I think the more you hear the diversity of stories, the more you can feel connected.
And so tell us what's going on new for you at the moment. Tell us some exciting things that are happening for you.
So as I said, my health journey has really made a full circle, so that's now allowed me to really get back into the music again.
I'm really happy to hear that.
Thank you. So I've done a few shows, but to be honest, my main energy right now is being in the studio and just recording again and writing and getting new music together. So that's really exciting for me. And I'm looking forward to sharing some new music towards the end of the year.
Great.
But then also the studio. So I was actually at the Great Escape last week on a panel. That's like one of the biggest music festivals in Brighton. And I was speaking on there about community and well-being. And I'm really just trying to build that community with the studio. So I might be doing a couple of projects with PRS. They are PRS, like the main royalty society for musicians.
That's
they have a few arms. So they have the PRS Foundation, which is for funding, and then they have the PRS Members Fund, which is to help the members. So I'm going to do something for that.
Oh, that's
and so along with my health journey, I've kind of got into this well-being space as well. So just bringing the power of music and the healing element of music to everyone. So that's a new kind of element that I'm getting into and embracing. Exploring, and it's really exciting.
That is exciting. That is really. And how can people get involved?
Definitely. So as I said, on my page, either through my own personal page, Kemi Sulola, or Sulola Studio, which is on Instagram. I've got a mailing list where I don't do spam because I ain't got time for that either. To be sending out. I'll be sending.
Join the mailing list.
Exactly. Join the mailing list. Where I'll be sending about some of the workshops that I'm going to be doing.
Brilliant.
Around that, but just bringing that, whether it's into workplace capacities for like team building or just because if you think of music from when we were young, like when our mothers sing lullabies to us, or when we learn the alphabet, or sing happy birthday, music is so entrenched in our joy and our well-being. So
absolutely.
Like trying to incorporate that in our everyday life. I'm just looking into ways to do that, and I want it again. It's not just for artists or people in music; it's for everyone. Everybody, because we all enjoy it. And we all see the value of it.
You're embracing for everyone to be involved. And name one album you couldn't maybe live without.
Oh,
I know this is a hard question.
That is a very hard. The first person that came to my head, I'm such a Music Soul Child fan.
Woo! Okay, Music Soul Child. Nice.
So I'm gonna say Soul Star.
Oh.
Yeah, because he's got a part, and this part of the song really relates to me. It says, Soul Star.
She's giving us some vocals.
So from where you started, don't be afraid to let your light shine on the world.
Wow. You know what can we say? You know, it's my birthday today. So I think I'm going to get her to sing
I'll have to
me because you be prepared by the end of the interview. I think we need to hear her beautiful voice again. Beautiful, Kemi.
Thank you.
Right, dream collaboration.
Ooh.
Living or past. Who would that be? If there's anyone in the world that you would have loved to collab with.
I've said this before, but Raphael Sadiq.
Oh,
yeah, he is like a G. been in a band. He plays like so many instruments. So I just think his sound and his style, I'd love to write a song with him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And what's one thing that maybe I mean, do you call them your fans? I don't know. Is that like, I don't know, is that really old school now? But fans or your supporters?
I like to say supporters, yeah. I feel like fans is weird.
Fans is like, yeah, I don't know if we use
fans
that.
Feels a bit beggy.
Begging. We're not begging fans. So what's one thing that your supporters would be surprised to know about you? So on this, like, revealing today on exclusively, what would they be surprised to know about you?
That's a really good question. I feel like if I tell them, they won't be surprised anymore.
That's a good answer. I know, right?
That's a good way to.
I don't want to answer that one. But you know, it was just or something that they were like, I would not have known that, you know, and it might be the album, or it might have been what I've just said. So yeah.
Oh, I need to think. The first thing that came to my head. I don't know if it's a surprise, but I am like, even though I've got my music out there and I'm a bit of an extrovert, I would say I'm a bit of an introvert as well. Like I like my own space.
Yes.
And like I remember I went recently to a networking event and it was just like loads going on. And I remember right afterwards, I went to a dessert shop. I just sat in the corner. I had a banoffee crepe. Oh. And I was just there like dancing to myself. I was just enjoying my vibe by myself.
You're in your own company.
So maybe that might be surprising.
Yeah. Because people see the you know, as you say, the exterior of you. They see that extrovert Kemi, like maybe always like bubbly, smiling.
Yeah, I like to go to this music event and I'm trying to build these communities, but I just like that.
And how do you I mean, being like that, how do you kind of what do you do for yourself, like in your quiet time?
I really recently have started to like swimming.
Really?
Yeah, so with my gym membership there's a swimming pool and I just love going there and there's a sauna there afterwards as well, so I like to use that afterwards.
So a bit of self-care.
Yeah, self-care is the one, definitely. It's that time and I don't even know what else because I'm actually really so weird. I don't really like watch TV or watch films. Surprisingly,
really?
It's mostly around music and family and friends.
Yeah, nice.
So the time that I get to myself just to like do that, I just like being in the water. I think that's really
a nice
calming.
It's very calming, isn't it? And so you have a new track or something coming out?
Yeah, so my most recent song.
Yeah, your most recent one.
Yeah, that's Timmy or Timy.
Timmy.
Yeah, so that stands for Till I Met You.
Till I Met You.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And that's like a little soulful. It's actually got a sample in it.
Okay.
From an old Motown band called Platinum Hook.
Love a bit of Motown.
Yeah. I do love a good sample as well.
Motown. Yeah.
Because it's always connecting the old school and new school.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I released that mid last year.
And where can they hear that?
Yeah, you can hear it online through my website.
Perfect.
And it's on all the streaming sites, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all of that.
So beautiful.
But that's out there.
And so I mean, so Kemi, there is so much to you, honestly, as an artist, as a person who's giving to community and things like that. In the studio that you're doing, the young people, old people that want to be a part of it. Where do you see that going? Where do you see that growing and evolving?
Yeah, I really have a dream for it too, because at the moment it's literally just a recording studio space. But I have a dream of it, you know, being maybe more of a commercial space, a complex space with multiple studios, a dance space, maybe a nice little sofa. You guys can come through. Yeah, a little pink sofa.
We could do a special. Yeah.
Like a real artist development space for creatives, maybe even like a little live space for performances in the evening. That's what I really would love it to be, just that space. Or when you're thinking of music, you come to Sulola Music and that's where you can get your vibe, where you can develop yourself, where you can, because that art of musicality, I think it's still there, but like I remember when I was younger, even then it wasn't that serious. Like I used to have music classes and I had piano classes. Right. But I didn't take it seriously. I wish I did because I'd be so dope now.
Do you play some music?
I play a little bit of keys, yeah.
Okay.
But I would love for that to be part of the school where people can come and learn instruments and really get that because the art of really learning an instrument is so powerful. It's not only the ability you get creatively, but the discipline you get behind it is amazing too as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love it to be a multifaceted, you know, musical.
And it will.
Amen. It will.
It
I like
will.
That.
Let's put it out.
Put it out there. 100%.
It will.
Yeah.
And just maybe just before, because we do go open up, we're live, so we always get some live questions as well. But what would maybe one piece of advice that you could give to some of our listeners today? Because listening to your journey, you know, health journey, you know, growing up, your music journey, things in the industry, is there like a piece of advice that you'd give anyone out there?
I feel like time and experience will allow you to grow into yourself. So be patient with yourself.
Time and experience.
Yeah, but also just keep, like, when I look back on my journey, even the times where I probably wasn't the most confident or had a lot of insecurities, or when I was really unwell, despite all of that, I was still doing music to some capacity. So I was still in it.
Yeah.
So just stay in it, because things will start to what's the word, unfold, or just like, even like, for example, I remember the peak of when I was really unwell. I remember I must have booked this show ages ago, but I was in hospital, and I don't know how to this day, but I remember pleading with my doctors to be like, please, can I go out to do this show? And they let me do it. So basically, I remember I was in a wheelchair, I had a cannula still in my arm, and they let me do this set, and I was tired and my voice was weak, but I was singing. It was a nice acoustic set in a bar, and I done the set, and I had to go straight back into the hospital. But till this day, doing that, just that motivation, that really gave me the drive to get better, to get back out. And now when I look back now, knowing that I could do that, I feel like I could do anything in a way. Yeah,
absolutely.
but I had to put myself in that space. And my point is, just keep, even if it's like someone's like, oh, can you record this little thing for me? Or if you're just writing a little thing every day, or if you're listening to new music, just whatever you do, just whatever it is you love, put yourself in that to whatever capacity you can do, because it will add up to your bank of what you're doing.
And I think that's such good advice, because as creatives, we can, you know, have moments of like where we need the stillness. But, you know, we're pulled in different directions because of, you know, maybe financially or life or family, but the creative flows are still there. So it's important to kind of give us,
add to it, just the capacity you can do, no matter how small it is.
absolutely. Yeah. Great advice from Kemi there. So we do have a live audience, so we would love to get them to ask you a couple of questions. So yeah, let's see if there's some live
Yes, a couple have come through which you have already actually answered already. So I'm just going to go down, just double check. Okay. If you weren't doing music, what would you be doing?
Oh, that's a really good question. Do you know what? I studied psychology.
Did you?
Yeah, psychology and criminology. I've always liked psychology, the study of people and how we interact, and maybe I would have done something along those lines.
Okay.
Some sort of therapy, or I was actually, there was a time I was actually going to do music therapy, because I was thinking of a way to incorporate the two. And I suppose I've kind of ended up into that now.
You're still doing
the
elements
wellness
of that.
space and the sessions that I want to get on with. So it's kind of in that path.
Yeah. And I think, do you think that the music that it's needed, right?
100%. Yeah, as I said, yeah, like as I said when I was on the panel over the weekend, I was talking about well-being, and I'm going to do a well-being music day with music support and PRS. That's the plan that we're going to do.
Good.
So yeah, it's definitely needed, especially when you're feeling the pressures of an artist and a creative. Having that sort of you know, those sessions can allow you to just get back into yourself.
Yeah. Great question.
And we've got one more. Do you think that R&B artists are forced to sexualize themselves?
To a degree, some of them probably are. Because we have this, well, it's not an illusion. There is the thing that sex sells. You know, it does, but it's not the only thing that sells.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
so that's what my argument is. I'm not necessarily, because, how can I say this? I'm not saying, I don't want to be like, don't do that. For some people, that's how they want to express themselves. So I'm not trying to, you know, cut people that way, but it's not all.
No.
And it's and there's another way, and there's other ways to do it as well. You can be sensual, you can still be you know, in your woman, in your feminine energy, and it doesn't have to be so in your face. So I think yeah, for R&B sometimes, and R&B, the core of R&B for me, it was about romance and love. Do you know what I mean? It was about singing in the rain to your partner, and you know, what's that song? Meet me at the altar.
Your white dress.
Yeah. But
oh look, sister's wedding tune. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was about love and romance. So sometimes if things are too sexualized, it takes away from the the beauty of that.
Yeah. And you know what? I think like the 90s music as well, there was the sexualized kind of certain lyrics as well. When we think about it, like,
actually, to be honest.
you know,
It was the way they done it.
It was the way they did it. Because when I think back and I'm listening to Jodeci, when we actually think what they were saying, but I think it was just done in a different kind of way. Whereas I think now it's a lot more
explicit.
Yeah. But also maybe that's the times that we're in. Maybe people are more comfortable with the explicitness. But I think back in the 90s era, it wasn't. It was a more romance, sexual, you know, kind of way.
I think we need a bit of romance because I think that just deepens connections a bit more.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we coming to the end of talking with. I mean, I could keep on talking to Kemi. Like, she's such a beautiful, beautiful soul.
Just reflecting.
Thanks. And what a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
On the podcast today and hear your journey. And we wish you all the success with all your music. Honestly, it's been a pleasure. But before we go, I want Kemi to sing me.
Oh,
because it's my birthday today. Yeah, guys. And I felt the beautiful energy from her, and I can't let her go without a little bit of a vocal to serenade me with my birthday wishes. So I hope you guys are okay with that.
We've got to do a happy birthday for you.
We've got to. It's my birthday.
Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. It's a Friday. It's your birthday.
It is.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, please, guys, what a lovely way to end. And thank you for being with us and on the podcast today. We're going to take a quick break, guys, for those of you who are on live with us, but we will be back because we have a second guest joining us on the sofa. Thank you. Thank you, Kemi.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you again. Beautiful. And welcome back to F the News. Obviously, the podcast where we go deep. We're meeting some incredible guests, hearing their journeys, their stories, and they're just empowering us every single week. Our next guest is a South London-based, award-winning freelance television and digital production manager with 15 years of experience in the industry. She's a seasoned pro at production manager level and brings the knowledge, experience, work ethic, and tenacity to take any production from concept to delivery, always on deadline and always with impact. She's worked on some of the biggest broadcasters in the game, BBC, ITV, Channel 4, and even Discovery. And her credits include thought-provoking titles like Rich Kids Go Skint, Undercover, Sexual Harassment, The Truth, and After Effects, and so much more. She hasn't stopped there. Today, through her business, Booked and Busy Studio, she helps media professionals get seen, supported, and seriously booked. From crafting standout CVs and bios to designing personal websites for creatives, coaching presenters, and building AI-powered career tools. She equips her clients with the strategy and real talk they need to thrive. If you're a freelancer, presenter, or creative ready to level up, get that notebook ready because this episode I know is going to be full of the tools, templates, and truths that you won't want to miss. Please let's jump in and meet the brilliant Georgina Bobb. Woo! Hello.
Hey, girl. Hey. How are you doing?
I'm very glad.
I love that.
Yeah. Did you like that?
I love that.
Like
and that was such a good intro as well. It's so comfy.
It is comfy.
I'm like, oh my God.
Chill out.
Bless you.
Get some water there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm like today.
I'm good. I'm absolutely ecstatic to be here.
Good.
I can't get over the set. Like, it's absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
The pink and like everything's just so cute and like lovely. Like, I love it.
Well, we like to make that warm, safe space for people like you joining us. So we're going to get in and hear all about Georgina. Like, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
There's so much gems that you're going to give some of the people out here today.
Yeah, definitely.
But I want you to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
I want you to take us back Like, bit of the beginning, like, how did you start
Right.
get into that TV kind of production, digital, like, production world?
Okay, so I first started, I entered the industry about 15 to 20 years ago. I'm getting old, but I'm not that old.
No, absolutely.
When I
Looking
first
good.
entered the industry, I started out in college actually.
Did you?
So
Right.
at college, I did like a work experience placement at a company called F2R Films.
Okay.
At F2R Films, I was responsible for producing music videos for artists such as Ed Sheeran, Skepta, Gigs, etc., etc. But this was way before they were signed.
Yeah.
Sorry. This was way before they were signed. So what I did was, whilst I was at college, I kind of like just built my experience through like producing like £500 videos, £1,000 videos here and there and everywhere. And then I went to university. I studied content creation and broadcast.
Nice.
From
Right.
there on, I graduated and then I just worked my way up.
You just literally just
Worked my way up.
working your way up, and
But
here you are.
to be
10 years
honest,
later.
I did go through a lot of
Right.
like applying for like different roles. Not many people were hiring at the time. I didn't even know how to do a CV when I first started out. So I was like working for like Sainsbury's and doing like other ad hoc jobs as you do when you first get into the industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I just kind of like got my first in.
How important was that, getting your first in? Like, explain that. Like, is that someone saying, do you know what, Georgina, I believe in you. I'm going to give you the opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Like, as a young, mixed race, working class, diverse kind of like newbie,
Yes.
someone who was keen, determined, and had all the odds stacked up against her. Like, I literally come from not much at all. So for me to actually be able to get that first in, it was like a dream come true. I did 3 years of unpaid work in the position that I was in to really build up my CV because I was determined to enter the industry. And that is what I did at that time to get in.
And you know what? I think it's really important for people to hear that, because you know, being in creative world myself, it does take that little kind of hustle mentality. As you say, doing things like doing an unpaid job for 3 years. So, but to give you the experience, the knowledge, so that it can then help you elevate in a different direction.
100%.
It takes that sacrifice, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think
industry.
definitely, like, to succeed within the industry, you need to just go at it like your life depends on it.
Right.
Otherwise, you're not really going to get in.
Yeah.
You know, especially those that come from diverse backgrounds, working class backgrounds, don't have much support, money, etc. I think you need to just literally bank on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, there's been some probably real standout moments for you in your career,
Oh, bless
right?
you.
But it's kind of probably shaped your career. Is there anything, like a couple of things that maybe really stood out? So obviously that first example of you saying like you got that first opportunity, that must have been like pivotal for you, like wow.
Yeah. No, totally.
Any other little things that you've done that you can be like, God, that was such a, like, I can't believe I did that.
Well, when I won my awards,
What? Awards.
I won an award in
And
2019.
what was the award for? Tell us a
It
little
was
bit
called
about
We
it.
Are the City Rising Star Awards, and it's basically a UK-wide initiative, and it celebrates women who are professional across all industries who are below management level.
Right.
And I was put in the creative industries category, and there was 10 of us that were shortlisted, and then I was given the award amongst five other women in professionals.
Huge. Well
And I was like, I when I walked in that place.
Yes, give her a clap. Give her a clap. Yes. Celebrate
When I walked in
that
that place, I was like, there's no way I'm getting it. Like, no. Imposter syndrome, like.
Yeah. That's real. The imposter syndrome.
Literally. And then when they called out my name first. And I was like,
The show.
I was like, I ran up the stairs.
Yeah.
Got the awards and stood on the stairs, and everyone was just waiting for me. And I was like, well, they've called everyone else. Why is everyone looking at me like I've done something wrong? So I've looked at my award. The award has got the wrong person's name on it. So it had Gina, because there was another girl called Gina who won as well. So everyone's like, and there's like a photographer taking pictures, and like everyone's just looking at me, and I'm like, So I walked back off the stage, swapped the awards, and then everyone else came up, okay, and then we took pictures and everything.
Right.
But that was like so embarrassing.
Oh no.
I still remember it to this day. But it was
you got your awards in the end.
exactly.
Right,
I was featured in the Sunday Times.
Yeah.
That was really nice to be featured and stuff, and like it was just like really nice to be recognized for my hard work because I'm dedicated to the industry.
Yeah. And you know what? There's something about recognition in this industry that I think sometimes it's not given enough.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and it's not about, you know, you having the credit as such, but it is the recognition. It is being recognized for your dedication, for your hard work,
definitely,
for your commitment to the industry.
Yeah.
Now, you've worked with some big heavyweights, right? You've worked with
a couple
BBC, Channel. I mean, have you had any kind of memorable moments working in those kind of?
Let's put it this way. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you've worked for the BBC and stuff. It's great and wonderful.
Yeah.
It's very high, fast-paced, dynamic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's so like middle class. Not saying it in a bad way. Like, I'm not saying it in a bad way. But I'm very authentic in my approach to work, and as well as me being a professional.
Yeah.
And I'm fully aware of my skills and my experiences and what I can bring to the table. Back in the day, I used to wear glasses, straighten my hair, and speak posher than I do now, just to fit in and get my feet through the door and get what I would need to get done. And that's what made me rise. Now, I've decided to be more authentic purely because as an individual and a professional, things happen in your life and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna be myself, whatever. Like it's all great and wonderful. Like working for huge broadcasters and indies and stuff like that. But there needs to be a huge like overhaul in terms of diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
Because diversity and inclusion is always like spoken about.
But it's not.
But like it's not, it's a club. It's a small club of people that know each other, that hire each other for work. And it needs to be, the doors need to be wide open.
Yeah.
And I try and, you know, beat the drum of true diversity and inclusion, because at the end of the day, in order for the industry, the media industry, television, film, they are powerful tools. Like they are powerful tools. They influence, they like, you know, control. Like there's a lot of things surrounding the media that I feel that would benefit the world if it was more diverse and inclusive.
100%. And do you feel that's slowly changing? Like having people like you, other people in the industry that are voicing this, making change. Is there some change going on?
I believe that there are initiatives and things and opportunities, but not enough.
No.
Yeah. I think it needs a huge overhaul, to be fair.
Yeah. But then it needs to be a lot more that's happening.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, you're also such an inspiration, I'm sure, to many. But what inspired you to do that shift from like, because you've done this production side of
management,
things, the production management, but you're now in this kind of new career path, which is more coaching for creatives.
Yes.
So tell us how that kind of transition helped, or do you still kind of do both? Is that?
I still kind of do both.
Yeah.
But I started coaching about 10 years ago.
Right.
And I did that whilst I was in contracts with indies and broadcasters and stuff. And I did that on the side just to help other people get work in the industry. The industry at the moment is at an all-time low in terms of work.
Yeah.
So due to that, I thought, well, why don't I just go full-time with it? Do you know what I mean? And today, I've helped over 1,000 people find work within the industry.
Wow,
just through like my networking events, my CVs, placing people into roles, my memberships, like everything that I do. And I'm very proud of that. But it's not about me, it's about helping others.
Yes.
And if I can like help like if there's like 100 people in the room and I can help 10, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even if you help one, that's made a difference to somebody.
Oh, bless you.
Isn't it?
I got another round of applause. I love that. Yeah.
A light bulb moment for you, do you think, when you realised that creatives needed more structured support and like navigating their careers? Do you think it's maybe things that you went through? And
Definitely. It's all based on from what I went through when I was first entering the industry.
Yeah.
And as well as that, it's like when I was working for indies and broadcasters and people were applying to me for roles, there was definitely, you can see the difference between experience and not experience. And like when you've seen hundreds, thousands of CVs, you know what needs to be done. If some are fantastic and some aren't so good, what the differences are. Does that make sense?
Give us a little tip on that. Like, so somebody.
So for someone who is a newbie,
yeah,
that doesn't have actually experience in working for like a broadcaster or independent production company, but wants to get in,
yeah,
what I would say is, you need to use industry terminology based on transferable skills that you have or experiences that you have had elsewhere. Does that make sense?
yeah,
And change it up so that it sounds industry related.
yes,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
But I would have to look at people's CVs to really give a proper good breakdown and stuff. But that's a tip that I'd say. But I would say in general, a CV is like a strong mission statement. Key skills. Your key skills have to be TV related and not just words, like hardworking, enthusiastic, like no.
Oh, you're shut
It
down.
has to be, yeah.
Shut down. So guys, if you're putting hard work in,
yeah.
can you give us another example there? If someone like says, "Oh, but I am hard working."
Yeah, no, that's fine, but that doesn't work in TV. It has to be like, cameras, like production orientated, knowledge of post production, different things depending on what it is that you do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think because the industry, do you think at times, like you already explained, it was quite difficult to get in. And if you're somebody that's really passionate about the industry, you're creative or you've got skills, it can feel like the industry is a bit like clicky, right? A bit of a door that you can't get in.
It is so clicky. It's
so
like you have to be everyone's best friend.
Yeah,
everyone's best
and
friend.
that's really difficult, isn't it? To get into, because it's like who you know,
it's
who you don't know, and
it's
stuff
all
like that.
you know. But at the end of the day, it's like that culture needs to change.
But and this is what I'm loving hearing from you, Georgina. You're bringing your authentic you.
100%.
You're bringing your journey. You're bringing your experience. You're bringing what you've been through, so that others don't have to kind of feel maybe the same way that you went through.
And also, it's about providing opportunities for people that need it.
Yes,
that's it.
Because there's some very talented people out here
100%.
that are not even getting a look in.
Right.
Not even getting a look in.
Exactly.
So tell me, so I want you to tell us a little bit. So Booked and Busy Studio.
Yes.
Is this right? This is your...
That's my business.
Yeah.
So what we do is we help industry professionals, so people who are already working in the industry and people who are new to the industry or those who are wanting to get into the industry, get supported, hired and seen.
Right.
So our services include websites. So we build websites, we do photography, shoots.
Nice.
We do show reels for presenters, we do show reels for actors, we do show reels like in general, like we produce them.
Yeah.
I also have a jobs membership platform. Within the jobs membership platform, we post jobs every day, and they're from behind the scenes roles and also in front of camera. And then I do one-to-one coaching as well. So I have clients that book me on unlimited coaching calls, which is 2 coaching calls a month.
Right.
Or it's just one of power hours, where I basically dissect CVs, give them contacts, like whatever it is in terms of careers, I basically help people enter.
Wow. So if there's people listening and they're like, I've been in the industry, or I haven't worked for a while, I can't get a job. Or they can come to you and you can get that support.
100%.
Any of our creators, because we will have creators.
Georgina Bobb.
We're going to put all your details in as well. But that's refreshing to hear, I think. Because in the climate at the moment, as you say, I think the whole production, film, TV world, there's not as much work around, is there?
But it's about creating opportunity for yourselves through networking, through creating your own projects,
Absolutely. And just being around them like-minded people that also want to do the same thing.
100%.
Yeah. So you've mentioned already you specialize in like CV and bio transformations. What are some, I mean, you mentioned a couple there, but what are some of maybe the biggest mistakes you see that creatives make with kind of these things?
Not putting the role next to your name. So you might apply for a camera operator role, and
Right.
you've just got your name at the top of the CV, you're a camera operator, so put your name in camera operator,
Ah, interesting.
because it makes you stand out even more. Does that make sense?
And we want standout, don't we?
Yeah, 100%.
So name and then the role that you're.
Yeah, that's it.
Ah, see,
So
look at that.
that's
One
definitely
tip
a tip
already.
that I would
Good.
say.
And
Yeah.
have you seen like some like, so that's like one big mistake. Is there anything else that you think, oh, why would you just not put this on your CV?
Also, it's about the changes in terms of your experience. So it's your most relevant experience first, not necessarily like what you've done recently.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
So it's what's relevant for maybe the role that you're
yeah,
going for
yeah.
as well.
So if you're a camera operator and you're looking to get a job in camera operating,
Yeah.
but you work in Tesco's and you've done some camera operating, but it was 2 years ago, you put your camera operating stuff first, and then you just write a line about your Tesco, but you go into mad detail
About your
yeah.
operating. Very, yeah. I mean, you think it's simple, but it's true. We're not
Yeah,
actually
because
doing
it
it like
needs
that
to be
way.
done like effectively.
Yeah. And how important is personal branding in today's TV and content industry?
It's so important. You need to be seen.
Yeah.
Like, it's all good having contacts and being all about who you know and what you know, but you need to be seen online. Like, people need to know who you are, what you do. Followers, yeah, I mean, that's important, but it's about having a strong brand. Even if you've got 10 followers and you're posting consistently, you don't know who's watching your page.
Right.
Just because you have 10 followers or 1,000 followers, people are still looking at your content. Does that make sense? So you need to be posting consistently,
Yeah.
and have direct messaging that is to your client avatar. So who's your client avatar? Is people that would hire you for jobs.
Yes.
So you need to craft like content based around that. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? With call to actions, everything.
Wow.
Like everything. That's what I do
You're
anyway. I do
dropping the
social media for
gems.
people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about branding.
So if there's somebody that goes, I want to get in the industry, I don't even know where to start.
The first thing is join my membership.
Ariana,
My membership is £7 a month.
Join the
Very
membership.
affordable. And then with that, you get 20% off all my services.
So you're even doing affordability because as
100%.
creatives, there's sometimes no money in the
100%.
bank, is there?
Trust me.
That waiting for an invoice.
Yeah, that's it.
Is yeah. So
That's
you're
it.
keeping it real like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Definitely.
So you're for creatives that are feeling a bit stuck as well in the industry, or feeling a bit invisible, say. So they've been working in the industry for a while, but they're feeling a bit invisible now. What can they do? Like, you've mentioned some of the things, the creative stuff, the social media presence.
Yeah.
Is it as well, like, is there other platforms that they should be looking on? Like, what
Yeah, there's
should they
loads
be
of
doing?
platforms. So if you're looking for a job in television, I would say the Talent Manager is a good job site. LinkedIn in its entirety, every single working professional in the world should be on LinkedIn and use it effectively.
And like, Georgina, explain that.
I post every day on LinkedIn. Don't post with links. Put your links in the comments.
Oh,
Yes.
even I'm learning something new about this.
Yes.
So LinkedIn,
yeah,
post every day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, use it as you do like any other kind of social media.
Yeah, just
like,
use it. Post every day. And not just post, you need to engage on other people's posts. And you'll see your feed and it will show more opportunities and stuff that are tailored towards you. It's just interesting. Like, the algorithm's interesting. At the moment, I've got like 9,000, about 9,600 on LinkedIn.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah. So you have to just build it.
Right. Keep on building, keep on posting.
Definitely.
And what do you think that most people don't understand about getting hired in TV and digital, like the production world?
You have to fit in. Number one, if you don't fit in with the status quo, you're not going to be hired, no matter how brilliant you are.
Oh, that's quite a powerful statement, Georgina.
I'm just spitting facts,
She's spitting
I'm just
facts.
spitting facts,
But that's
Yeah.
the realness of it, right?
Yeah.
It's quite a harsh reality, isn't it, for some people?
It is. It is. You have to fit in with the status quo. So yeah.
But for some people, they go, well, I'm not going to fit in. Like,
I know. That's why you come to me and I'll help you.
help fit in, or
Yeah,
help
I will
get
help
other
them with their careers.
opportunities. Right,
Yeah,
right,
and
right.
careers in
I
general.
love that.
Yeah.
And do you help clients with keeping that creative passion, and because I consider you're passionate about this
I'm passionate about like just like I said, helping others, being true to yourself, and providing opportunities.
Yes,
you know,
I can feel that passion here,
yeah.
and that
Oh,
you want to
thank
give
you.
to others as
Yeah,
well.
100%.
Which that's very rare in this industry. It's very rare, isn't it?
A lot of people are very egotistical. A lot of people are very, I need to get what I need to get for myself.
Do you think there's a lot of people don't like to share the knowledge as well and gatekeep
Not
quite a
yet.
lot?
Me and gatekeepers have beef, yeah.
Gatekeeper.
Gatekeepers.
Did that trigger something in you, Georgina?
100%. Me
Right.
and gatekeepers have beef, and the only reason why I say that is because when you gatekeep, like when you're like, oh yeah, that person's gonna get let through, but not that person. That person is good enough, but not that person. That's discrimination.
Absolutely.
It's absolute discrimination.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely someone that is quite outspoken. Is known to be outspoken in the industry because I don't don't discriminate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think there
Simple.
needs to be more of you, like more people like you, though. In
I'm
the
trying.
industry.
I'm trying. I'm
You're
trying
only
to get
one person,
people
aren't
out
you?
there.
Like,
I know I
yeah.
should have a twin in
You
it.
should.
Like,
You should have multiple
that's it.
Georginas.
That's it.
So you've also mentioned you're integrating AI powered tools. I mean,
Oh,
AI.
me and
thing.
AI, we are like best friends.
How do you,
AI is
how
my
do you
bae.
see it though? How do you work with the AI? Like, and how?
ChatGPT, yeah, you need to put in good prompts. You need to put in excellent prompts. You can't just be like, write me a CV. Like, no.
Right.
You need to go into detail about what you want the CV to about, your experience today, everything. Like, do you know what I mean?
What's interesting? That we had a guest the other week, right, who uses AI,
Yeah.
right, and she taught me a lot.
Yeah.
And it was like you've got to teach the AI as well. So you put in, but you can't just do it. Don't just simplify the thing. Like go into detail with what you want AI to really give you.
Yeah.
And let AI get to know you. So what you want to get out. So you
100%.
spend quite a bit of time.
Every day.
Every day.
On my business and AI.
Every day.
Because what I do as part of my career coaching services is I provide an action plan for my client, and I use AI with a human touch.
Ah, brilliant. Yeah. So you're putting in
your information about my clients.
And do you think that's helping? Like, because for creatives,
100%,
we need things that work
it's
quick,
strategic.
right? Yeah.
And it's quick.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Like AI is the future. Like it will, like it's on everyone's phones right now. Like just use it. Like use it. Learn to use it. It will benefit you, you know? Yeah, even with social media, like it's crazy.
Yeah, what it's doing. Like I mean we're in quite good times. Like the opportunities that we do have with this
1,000%.
technology is,
And if you edit, you can charge people, say, I don't know, £400, £500 or whatever to edit something. If you had a long form piece of content, you can just put that in Opus Clip, right? And in 5 minutes time, you'll have 12 reels, subtitled, everything. You don't even have to edit it.
Because I'm also hearing as well, like I need to get better at this, but that you can kind of like set things to kind of post for you. Is this
Schedule.
Right?
Yeah. I use later.com to schedule personally.
So that's you put in all the information in that you want it to do, and it's scheduled.
Yeah, it has AI in there.
Yeah.
But I don't use it for AI. I build my content through AI and then I upload it onto later and then it schedules.
So how often do you think, as a creative or someone that's trying to get work, how often do you think that they should spend maybe a week or a day or whatever doing their kind of social media AI stuff?
I would say 2 days.
2 days of the week.
2 days is your month.
Wow,
That's how much. That's how much I use.
Yes,
2
and
days
that
in a
schedules
month.
it for the whole month. That's so interesting, you know.
Yeah.
So I want to, before we go, I want to hear some exciting things that you've been part of. But I want you to tell us about your membership. So tell us a bit about that and the vision of it. And
so my membership is £7 a month. At the moment, I think I have about 50 odd members. I launched it about 2 months ago. So it's not going too badly.
Yeah.
With that, you get jobs every day. So I've got PA Paul. He posts like jobs every day, like from producer, director, like actor, presenter, camera operator, editor, like anything.
So many roles.
Yeah, like there's loads of roles. So that's posted every day. We have a networking group as well, where you can like network with others. You get monthly networking as well. We've just introduced Q&As where we're gonna have industry, like top industry professionals come in and really like instill their knowledge onto others.
That's really lovely.
Regarding their careers. So look out for that. And you also get discounts. You get a new weekly newsletter.
Nice.
So do you get like
That's a lot of stuff.
yeah, and it's just to empower others and just provide opportunities for others.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Georgina.
Thank you.
And can you tell us, like, so you've been a part of some wonderful productions, yeah? Is there any productions that really stand out that you're like, I just had the best time working on this production or with these people?
I loved working on Unapologetic, which was a Channel 4 show, late night. And it was presented by ZZ Mills and Yinka Bikini. It was a black orientated sort of current affairs debate show based on sort of different topics and stuff.
Nice.
Benjamin Zephaniah, rest in peace. Like he was on there.
Yeah.
And he was just so lovely. I just remember him and he was just so lovely.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of like different figures within the Black British landscape or culture, should I say, that was on that show.
Beautiful.
I was a JPM, which is a junior production manager at the time. I was reporting to a PM.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was just really nice to be on a show that was like that.
Yes.
Because the content of it was just so refreshing, you know.
There needs to be more content. Why is like not more content like this being done? Or is it? It's just not getting commissioned and stuff, do you think?
Well, I think that's a good question. And I would say that in terms of commissioners, like, I don't think it's like I said, it's a club. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, if you know or you have good relationships with commissioners and you've got good ideas, then you'll get commissioned. Does that make sense? If you are new to the game, you need to do something spectacular to get in. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like I even had an idea that I was working with a writer on.
Right.
And and it was quite refreshing and out there, to be fair.
Right.
But it wasn't a safe idea, it was a risky idea. Yeah, so it hasn't been commissioned as yet, but I have had like chats with like a lady that I work with who brings brands on board to help sort of fund the project, etc. But I would say commissioning is definitely like, it's like a puzzle. Do you know what I mean? Like that's not really my bag. Like I'm more like employability, careers, production, management.
Yes.
I manage budget. So once a program's been commissioned, it will come to
tell us
me.
a little bit about you as a production manager. What people.
So once a program gets commissioned, it will
Yeah.
come to the production company. The production company will be like, "Cool, thank you for the money," or "Thank you for green lighting." Then, as a production manager, what I would do is, okay, so we've got 100 grand in the pot. This is how. Sorry.
Right. Do you want some water? Do you need
Sorry.
water? Sorry.
Yeah.
Grab some water.
Sorry. So I'm
That's
saying
fine.
like you get like 100 grand in a pot.
Yeah. Take a moment.
Sorry.
It's all
And
right.
then it's like, this is how we spend it.
So you're
So I would
responsible for
build the budget
Okay.
dependent on how much money there is, how much money the company's going to take, who we need for the project, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I would then schedule it. So I would schedule it according to like the timeline. So if Channel 4 says we're delivering in December the 5th and we get the money like now, so we've got how many months? Cool, are we going into production straight away? Are we going in production in 2 months' time? Like I'll work that all out.
Yeah.
Do the budget and the schedule. Once MD or head of production is happy with that, I would then manage it. So I'll hire all the crew, do all the interviews, contract crew,
Okay.
all the rest of it.
The production
Staffing,
manager is a
OT.
big responsible.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So for anyone that's there and goes, oh, I'd love to be a production manager.
Speak to me.
Speak to Georgina. Yeah.
Speak to me.
Do you also think in the industry, you know, like there's this it's kind of like you need to start at the bottom. Like there's no, even if you've got loads of transferable skills, you've come from different
industries,
and that actually you could bring those skills into some, like be a production manager.
Yeah.
But you haven't been a runner, you haven't been a junior producer.
Yeah.
Do you think that some of that is good how the industry works?
No, it's unfair.
Yeah.
It's unfair because people just need chances and opportunities.
Yeah.
But in a realistic world, like if you was an office manager and you wanted to get into production management, I would say do a bit some courses. Screen Skills is a great like website full of resources, training, bursaries, all that kind of stuff that help you get into the industry. Use Screen Skills, do all their courses, and also go to networking events and speak to other production managers, speak to other people who are in the industry and learn from them.
Yeah.
Then you can potentially get an opportunity maybe at a networking event, or if not, like build up your credits. So even if you're an office manager now, on the weekend you could run on a couple of shoots.
Yeah.
Then that will still build your CV up and say,
yes.
do you know what I mean? Like you gotta be
do
everywhere, do everything.
you have.
Yeah.
So why as well is community and weekly opportunity sharing so crucial for freelancers, do you think, in because I think at the moment with what's going on, how important is it to have that community or where you can share things weekly with each other?
I think it's important because it's like, as human beings and professionals, like you have to continue to like connect with others.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And it's always good to have like, what's that called? Like a hearing ground. Is that the right word? Like like someone to like bounce off ideas or like just talk about general interests, the same sort of things. So like it's just important in general.
I mean, we've had it all on here, your accountability partners, your wise
all of
counsel,
that.
your vibe tribe, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely, it's so important.
And what advice would you have given yourself when you were younger? If you know now what Georgina knows now, like what would you have told yourself earlier in your career, do you think?
That's a good question, you know.
Yeah, like go back. Like, what would you like knowing everything you know now? But now that you're this young Georgina and you're about to.
Yeah, that's a good question. Can we get back to that?
Of course we can.
That's an excellent question. Yeah, that is an excellent question.
Because I'm intrigued to have a think about that.
That's an excellent question.
What's also one thing do you think people assume about working in TV that is like totally the wrong assumptions?
That it's glamorous and that it's a 9 to 5 when it isn't.
Yeah.
It's literally 6 to 11.
Yeah.
On location. Do you know what I mean? It's not glamorous.
No.
It is glamorous at times, like when you go to the award ceremonies and like you're doing stuff that's cool, like networking events and stuff. But it's not glamorous. It's not glamorous.
And you've mentioned to get in contact with you. So we may have answered this, but I want you to see like any creatives that are listening today.
Yeah.
And they just want to take that one step of doing something, like to give them an opportunity or support.
I would say, like, if you want to be like a presenter or a director, whatever it is, just do it. You've got a phone. A phone has a camera. Put yourself on screen or turn the screen on to something else and direct. It's that simple. Just do it.
Yeah.
Build your experiences, network, build a brand for yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's that simple.
That's
like, it's just action. You have to be action orientated in this world.
Yes.
You can sit down and think until the cows come home.
Yeah.
But the cows ain't ever going to come home. So you need to be action orientated. It has to be like that, you know?
Yeah. I think as well, like Georgina, listening to you, you're like hustle, you're resilient, your grit, your determination. I think will inspire so many other people.
Oh, thanks.
Because I think, because I think it's
you.
important for people to hear. Because I think the creative industry is, as you say, people think it is all glam, but there is so much behind it, and you've got to be a real resilient kind of grit and determined person.
Have to.
You know, and not take things too personal, right?
Yeah, 100%
as well.
100%.
I'm also a little bit intrigued and want to touch just a little bit again, because I think the diversity and the lack of representation in the industry is really important to discuss a little bit as well, because I think there's a lot of people out there. We all can feel it. We're all we're part of it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
What more do you think has to happen?
In an ideal world,
Yeah,
how I envision the industry being is that at entry level, there's training and jobs for everyone that wants to get into the industry.
Yeah.
And people are not accepted based upon how they speak, how they look, how they fit in. They're based upon their their talent and who they are in terms of what they want to do. Does that make sense? Like given opportunities.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And then if they mess up opportunities, fair enough. But it's about giving people opportunities.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Can you and you
without any discrimination?
Absolutely. And you've obviously had some people give you opportunities. And maybe I don't know if you've had any like mentors or people. Is there anybody that you think, do you know what? Without these people, this person, I probably, yes, a lot of it has been myself. But have you had any kind of, you know, people that have really shown up for you?
Yeah, so I would say big up Simone Pennant.
Yes.
Like
Breakthrough Leaders.
yeah, Breakthrough Leaders, definitely. Like she is someone who's very, very authentic. She's a black woman with dreadlocks. Like she's been around in the industry for years and she knows her stuff.
Yeah.
She's doing her absolute utmost to ensure that people who are at a higher level, who are more senior or more experienced, kind of get opportunities and like rise.
Yeah.
So I love that because that's the only way things are going to really change.
Huge and love.
So big up
Simone,
to Simone Pennant.
Yeah. I was actually nominated for Breakthrough Leaders. Yeah, I didn't get in, but that's okay.
Apply next year.
I'll
Because
apply next year.
twice.
Yeah, I'm hearing this.
Yeah.
But huge support to
Yeah.
Breakthrough Leaders and
100%.
cohorts that have been passed
100%.
and that got in this year.
No, definitely.
So Simone is anyone else?
I would say she's pretty much my number one.
Love that.
Only because she's like the most authentic
Yes.
out of
And
the
isn't
batch.
it what is in the industry? Why is there not more authenticity? It's very
don't
frustrating,
know.
isn't it?
I really don't know. I think people just want to be who they want to be, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's beautiful to hear. Thank you.
I
for
know.
kind of
Sorry,
sharing that.
I'm a bit raw today. I'm like in one of those like
We love the rawness.
I'm just speaking the facts.
But this is what this is what we do. This is we talk real talk.
Yeah,
We
that's
talk
it.
real journeys,
That's
real
it.
stories.
That's it.
It's
That's
not
it.
like let's be real how it is.
Yeah,
So
100%.
and I mean your journey is like one that I think so many people were like, wow, like how did she do that? How did she kind of still stay in the industry?
Yeah.
You know, and you are still, and you're giving back as well. This is the beautiful thing.
That's it. This is so cute.
Thank you. So going back, what about your young Georgina?
Oh, got the question.
Yeah, I want to know, what would you have told yourself?
That don't be swayed by other people's opinions.
Yes.
Don't be swayed by other people's opinions.
Love that.
That's
I love that. I love that. And because we're live, so I'm going to go over and ask some live questions.
Live questions.
But before we do as well, on your journey,
yeah,
I'm really intrigued to know, like, there's been some hard times for you, right?
Yeah.
And there's been some amazing times.
Yeah.
For you, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say, like, the hard times have done for you?
They've molded me into a person that's kind of like quite resilient. Like I would say I'm resilient, and I think you have to be resilient in the industry.
Yes.
Because there are arseholes out there. Oh, sorry for swearing.
That's fine.
But there are arseholes out there.
Yeah.
That might see something in you and be like, I'm gonna be difficult today. Do you know what I mean? So you have to kind of like have armor around you and be like, oh, is it okay? Cool.
Yeah.
Carry on with work or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
There is a lot of bowing down you need to do in terms of like fitting in, and I think specifically if you're from a diverse background, you need to fit in.
Yes.
Yeah, like I'm a bit of a troublemaker, you know. So it's like,
what do you mean? Tell us
not
a bit
troublemaker, but it's like I'm so
you
like
just say it how
I'm
it is.
who I am. Like,
Yeah.
you get what I mean? You have to be like authentic, and you like. I understand there's a when you're at work, you're professional and everything like that. Yes, I'm professional. Like, give me a budget and a program, I'll make it happen.
How to do your job. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like.
But at the same time, you want to be you.
That's it.
You want to be
That's
who
it.
you are.
I don't have to speak like this, and you know, and all that stuff, and straighten my hair and wear glasses, and like.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If I want to
Authentically
play
you.
Bashment Vibes Cartel in the office. Nobody get what I'm saying. Nobody get what I'm saying.
It's so true.
That's what I'm
bring
saying.
the vibes
That's
comes
what
out
I'm
in the production
saying.
office.
I did do that in my last contract, actually.
Did you?
Yes. And that was quite interesting.
Of course.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
But I
good.
love that you're here as well and coaching and mentoring other people. I think to show up as them. I think that's an important thing to do.
Important
It's
indeed.
really, really beautiful to hear.
Important
So
indeed.
Georgina, we're live. So let's see if we have
Any questions?
any question, because I'm sure we have. Well, I'm sure we do. Look at that.
I'm so excited.
What was your first TV inspiration?
Oh.
When I was 14, I was on a program called SMTV Live. I was a cheerleader on that program. So that was my first direct inspiration into actually the industry. Like,
Nice.
I was 14 running around on this set, and I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to do this for the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
You saw the glamorous side then.
I saw the glamorous side. I was like, this is me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got another question that's just come through. What does female empowerment mean to you?
Oh.
Female empowerment is about being successful. And whatever successful means to you is to be that. Does that make sense? So as a female, success might be like, you know, getting up each day, and that could be success. But then other women, success might be, I've just closed a deal of £1 million or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So whatever success means to you, do it. And also, anything is like achievable. Do you get what I'm saying? It just depends on your mindset.
Yeah.
So I would say women empowerment is about trying to increase your mindset so that you can become more like, so that more opportunities can come to you.
Yeah.
As a woman, you should feel empowered because we're just as capable as men. And I don't think there should be a separation between men and women, because at the end of the day, we're all one race, the human race, and we're all different shades of brown. You've got white people who are brown, they're light brown. Like, if you look on like the painting thing and you see black people who are dark brown, and then you see the light brown is white. So we're all shades of brown, like white, black, brown, Asian, Chinese. Everyone's brown. So I think the whole kind of divide of the black and white thing needs to go as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like empowerment as a people.
Yeah.
We need to come together and be real, really.
I love that.
Beautiful. Just one more. What's your favourite TV programme?
It's so cheeseball, yeah. It's so cheeseball. But at the moment, I like a bit of Britain's Got Talent. Do you know why I say that?
Can I just say I cast? I was on the casting team for that.
Do you know, yeah.
Do you know why?
Do you know why I love that though? It's because it's such a it's just one of them programs. It's feel good and it makes me cry every single time.
Sorry, I have to take a bit of credit there. That's recognition. Liyanne works on the team. Shout out to my Britain's Got Talent team. I'm actually there tomorrow.
Are you?
At the semi-live finals.
Well done.
Supporting one of my talent, Benita, the little dancer. Please support
well
her
done.
and vote for her tomorrow. But yeah,
well done.
it's lovely you said that.
Yeah.
Also, I actually need to ask you, because you are at F the News.
Yeah.
What's your favourite F word?
Can I swear? No, actually, my favourite F words.
Yeah, any F word.
F words. Oh, it got me thinking now.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yes, because she is fabulous. Because Georgina is fabulous. Oh my God.
I love that. So yeah.
Wow, Georgina. Well, what an inspiration you are. The realness of you, the authenticity of you, the giving, the pouring into others, the caring about the industry.
Thank you.
I just wish you every success as well in everything you're doing. And me, thanks. I respect that. You know, and please, I hope from even today's podcast that people reach out to you. People want to connect with you, get support from you, or work with you, or want you to work with them.
Yeah.
Because I think that this is what is important about what we're doing here as well.
That's it.
Making sure we're connecting each other, having a community, having a network.
Yeah.
Empowering, letting people hear the real journeys of people.
That's it.
So that they can feel inspired.
Yeah,
and
100%.
keep on going.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't thank you enough, guys, and our incredible two guests today, Kemi and Georgina, for joining me on the sofa. What a wonderful, wonderful episode. I want to just thank you, as always, for being with us at F the News, liking, supporting, sharing. We still need the more support, guys, so please continue to support us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Femme Fatale TV. Share it. Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Tell a friend.
You know, we're also going to be giving out some opportunities of getting more people involved in what we're doing here. So please reach out to us and contact and connect with us. I've been your host, Liyanne Marie, and I'm looking forward to being back on the sofa or the studio. Watch this space. I want to introduce you now and pass you over to our wonderful hologram host, Rochelle, who will introduce you to our News Vault guests this week. Take care.
And this week, stepping into the News Vault is Trey performing her track, My Mind.
When they know what they doing and they say with my time, it's supposed to be a blessing. Too sexy to be stressing, done with second guessing. I've made up my mind. Saw my ex today and it threw me off. Man, I just be doing anything. Why did I ever let that lose it in? Other guy claiming he in love, who gon' break it to him? He don't know he ain't gon' see me again. These niggas be so delusional. They really can't believe that I'd rather be alone than deal with them. Can't be bothered with the nonchalance. It don't work for me and I know. Wish they would just stop calling my phone, saying that they want me but they don't. I'm tired of the fighting, lying, denying, when they know what they doing and they say with my time, it's supposed to be a blessing. Too sexy to be stressing, done with second guessing. I've made up my mind. I don't think that I was rude enough. Pity how they broke as fuck. They always asking why I'm single and chasing me but still want me to spend. They can only call me beautiful as usual. These niggas so one-dimensional. They really can't believe that I'd rather be alone than deal with them. Can't be bothered with the nonchalance. It don't work for me and I know. Wish they would just stop calling my phone, saying that they want me but they don't. I'm tired of the fighting, lying, denying, when they know what they doing and they say with my time, it's supposed to be a blessing. Too sexy to be stressing, done with second guessing. I've made up my mind. I'm tired of trying and biting my tongue, when they know what they doing and they say with my time, it's supposed to be a blessing. Too sexy to be stressing, done with second guessing. I've made up my mind. This time I gotta put me first. Finally the lessons learned. It's funny how the tables turn. Now I'm letting bridges burn. I'm tired of the fighting, lying, denying, when they know what they doing and they say with my time, it's supposed to be a blessing. Too sexy to be stressing, done with second guessing. I've made up my mind. I'm tired of trying and biting my tongue, when they know what they doing and they say with my time, it's supposed to be a blessing. Too sexy to be stressing, done with second guessing. I've made up my mind.